Well, I think we'll all be cheering on Padraig Harrington this week as he attempts to do something which hasn't been done, I think, since the 1950s. Win 3 Opens in a row, having won the Open in Carnoustie in 2007 and then at Birkdale last year. He's going for the 3 in a row starting this Thursday. So we're joined now by his psychologist, who has written a new book called Your 15th Club, and who is spending time with Padraig this week to prepare him for this week's Open. Dr Bob Rotella, thank you for joining us.
Good to be with you.
Tell us, how is Padraig? Because his form hasn't been great, has it, coming into this tournament?
Well, you know what? His form last week and at the U.S. Open with his short game was really good, and that's all that really matters. And, you know, you win these by having your mind there and your wedge and your putter there. And we're feeling really good about his putting, and we're feeling good about his head. And, you know, you're going to probably hit a lot of hybrids off tees, and it's going to really be about playing golf and getting the ball in the hole. It's not about whether or not your form is perfect. He's actually in pretty darn good shape.
Because I was a bit worried when I read in the papers today a comment that he said he wouldn't mind if the tournament had been pushed back a few weeks to give himself a little bit more time to get form.
Well, and you know, my response to that is last year he probably would have preferred to have been able to play 3 practice rounds on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And he wasn't able to do that, and it didn't matter. The bottom line is, by Thursday morning, he's got to have nothing in his head but his target and be totally committed to that and go play golf. And I feel good that he's going to do that. I think he's very excited about it. Is his form perfect? Probably not, but that's not really what it's about.
Well, indeed, you know, there's a saying, isn't it, that, you know, that form is temporary, but the class is permanent. How important would that be to a player like Padraig Harrington?
Well, you know, first of all, he loves the British Open, and he really knows how to play links golf. I think it's very helpful for him that he played links golf last week. I think it was very helpful that he got in contention and won. It's a different kind of pressure when you're supposed to win like last week. This week, you know, I think he would love to win and is preparing to win. It would be a thrill to win 3 in a row. But you know what? His mind is awfully strong, and as you know, he's a very special man with very special talents and mental powers. And you know, talking to him last few days, he's in a nice place. He's got his head cleared out for the most part, and I think by Thursday morning it'll be totally cleared out. And for him, that simply means he's totally committed the ball going to his target, and he's just going to accept it wherever it goes and go get it. And he'll know if he's doing it because he'll be smiling when he's playing golf. And Padraig always says when he's smiling, he's not thinking. And if he starts looking too serious, you know, he's starting to think. And he'll never play as well when he's doing that. But I like where he's at. And the most important thing is he's feeling great with his putter. And I suppose that and the fact that he knows how to win. He's had so much experience now getting in position and making putts, that certainly helps to have those memories.
We've been hearing a lot recently about him reconstructing his swing and not been happy with the technique, which I suppose comes as something of a mystery to many people who fail utterly to ever get it into good shape in the first place. And they see a guy who's won 3 majors, not happy with his swing, going and working on it. What's behind that? What's the thinking that goes through a top-class professional golfer that they're not happy with something that everybody else would love to have?
Well, I think partially what makes them really good is that they're guys who are willing to constantly strive to get better. But that same thing that allows them to get better can cause you to get lost. I mean, I share the view of a lot of your viewers. My first question to him was, what do you mean you tried to change your swing? You know, it's nothing very huge. I think what people need to understand is when his mind is clear, nothing exists but the target. Most people are never that clear, and there's a total and complete absence of doubt when he's swinging the golf club or putting the ball. And so when he means he's lost, he's just got a little bit of thought in there that he doesn't want to have about his backswing. And it's certainly not a monumental change. He's just trying to get the club a little bit around him. And he's trying to let go of all that now and not think about it. So that's really all he's talking about, is he's trying to get rid of a little bit of a thought in there about it and just totally get into committing to the shot he wants to hit and hitting it. and going out there and playing golf. And as you probably know, if you're into your swing, it's easy to want to hit everyone perfect. And if you don't hit it perfect, to start thinking about your swing. And he knows he can't play golf doing that. So the good news, he knows what he needs to do.
Bob, we're getting a lot of interference with the wind there from Turnberry at the moment. I don't know if you can maybe even turn around a little bit so we're not getting as much of a wind echo coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing the best I can, yeah.
Great. That actually is better. Thank you. I'm fascinated by your book, though, Your 15th Club, which, of course, is the extra club which you're not supposed to carry around in the bag. So what do you mean by the 15th Club?
Well, basically, the 15th Club is your mind. It's basically the best thing we all have is a mind. And because we have free will, we get to choose where we're going to put that mind, just like Padraig does this week. And his goal is to believe in himself. And when you believe in yourself, you think of nothing but where you want the ball to go. And it's not about having every ball go where you're looking. It's like wherever it goes, you accept it and go get it. And you're either going to choose to use your mind to help you play great, or you're going to let your mind go someplace you don't want it to go. And, for a golfer, it's standing over a drive and seeing the ball go to your target down the middle of the fairway, and accept it and go find it and go hit it again. And I think to some degree it helps that we're at the British Open, because the British Open courses, linked golf, I think really helps people get into playing golf. So I think it's very good for Padraig to play 2 weeks in a row on a links course right now.
The way you say it, it sounds very easy, but how hard is it to get your mind in the right place so that you can visualize exactly what you want to do and then do it?
Well, it's obviously harder. Everyone would do it all the time. The good news, I tell Padraig, is if you do it, it gives you a tremendous advantage over everybody else, because a lot of guys aren't going to do it because it's so hard to do. In terms of Padraig, would we have loved to have been totally right where we wanted to be the last 3-4 weeks? So it would be an unbelievably well-ingrained habit like it was a year ago at this time? Yes, but it's not quite that way. And so it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's just a matter of really getting yourself locked in, committing on every shot. And so every ball he's been hitting for the last few days, we've just been really trying hard to think of nothing but our target. And when I say hard, I mean it's a very soft focus on the target, but he's just committing to doing it on every shot. So it's not about trying hard to do it, it's about letting yourself do it.
That sounds difficult, though. How do you manage to get the balance so that you're not maybe over-concentrating, overdoing it, so that you come to worry about it, and then if it doesn't start working for you, you suddenly start losing confidence in yourself?
Yeah, by having a very lighthearted attitude. For him, it's behind the golf ball. Nothing in the world exists but his target, and then committing that that's all he's going to have in his head. So basically, his eyes and his mind are just softly looking at the target and letting a thing called a swing happen, instead of trying to make a swing happen. I mean, everything we teach is that if you're into your target or your ball flight, a swing will happen that will cause the ball to go where you want it to go. And that's what you have to commit to, because it's easy out here to start thinking, well, I can't miss right, so miss over here to the left, and I'm good. I'll go get the ball up and down. And if you do that, you just give away your talent. So it's really a matter of total commitment, but with a very soft focus.
But Bob, if you're watching golf on television, often you hear the commentators saying, this is a really big shot, this is really important, he has to do it here. Do you ever allow your players, Padraig or anyone else, to actually think that way, or do you have to approach every shot in the same way and not allow yourself perhaps to be overwhelmed by the belief, I have to pull a big one out here?
That's a great observation and question. Now, my players are trying to give every shot the same equal low level of importance. We're trying to, on the range, we're trying to pretend we're on the golf course, and on the golf course, we're trying to pretend we're on the range. Broadcasters are trying to make golf exciting because it's somewhat of a boring game to watch, and they're trying to produce anxiety in viewers. So what they're talking about is not what players are attempting to do at all. I mean, what players are attempting to do is treat every shot the same and just stay in the moment. And if anything, they're downplaying the importance of everything.
So then, does that help you if a shot doesn't go well, that you're able to deal with the next shot without being in some way overcome by the previous shot?
Yeah, and I've got to run in about 10 seconds, but what I'd say is it's an attitude that you have to commit to before you go to the golf course, that I am going to do this. And you basically anticipate that every shot isn't going to go to your target, every putt isn't going to go in, and make a commitment that this is how I'm going to think, And part of it is, how am I going to respond to shots that don't go where I'm looking? And that's really what playing golf is, okay?
Your book is fascinating. Dr. Bob Rotella, your 15th club is a book. Thank you for joining us. And tell Padraig best of luck for us. We hope it goes really well for him this week.
I will do that. Thanks for your interest. Take care.